Hey everybody, Mike Chipperini at Chipper's Island Adventures, and I am here on this cold February day in New England in front of my brand new Travato 59K. So hey everybody, we've had some pretty cold weather up here, and I'm talking down to the single digits. And when I bought my rig, the new one, the 59K, General RV asked me if I wanted to have it winterized, and I said no, because I didn't see any real cold weather on the horizon. But once I got home, the cold weather started coming in, and I still didn't winterize it, because my understanding is with the 59K, the latter versions like 2021, 22, 23, they're trying to get it so it's almost 4 season, if not 4 season. So I decided to take my chance. And other than being a little bit snowy and looking cold and icicles hanging off it on the outside, it's doing pretty good. I'm very impressed. So let's go inside. So here we are inside the 59K, and I just want to show you what I've done here. First off, I hung this blanket up between the cabin and the house just to keep the warm air that's being generated by the heater inside the house, where I feel it's more important. And so far so good. On the back side, I took a towel and stuffed it down between the door and the bathroom area. I also poured antifreeze down all the P-traps, the toilet, the shower, and the sink, just as a little preventative measure. Now the heat. So here's my Truma. This is my Truma heater. And right now I have it set on heat inside and a mix 2 on the propane and electric, as you can see. Now what that does is it puts out 1750 watts of electricity. That's what it's using to help heat the rig. And it's using the propane as somewhat of an assist. And if I go over here and look at my tank levels, right now you can see my propane is about 3/4 full. But that could actually mean that it's just under full. But now it's, instead of registering full, it's registering 3/4. So it could be high 3/4, or it could be just above 3/4. It's hard to say, you know, it's not exact. But it is what it is. But at any rate, one of the things that happened, so what I did is I set up this space heater and I put it on the bathroom floor. That space heater draws 1500 watts. Now, I just told you that I have my Truma set on mix 2, which will give me 1750 watts. Now, when you do the amperage on all that, I'm on a 15 amp service. And the Truma, based on 1750 watts, is using almost 15 amp. Well, I had this space heater plugged in and everything was going pretty good. And then I came out the next morning and I had a W45H error on my Truma. And as you can see, there's a plug symbol right here. Well, that plug symbol was gone. And what that W45H error means is that it's no longer getting or detecting that it has an electrical connection. So since I had it on mix 2, it wanted electric, but it couldn't give it, so it defaulted to the propane. That's why I did that. That is why I put it on mix 2, because that way there, if you lose electricity, it'll go right back to propane. So at any rate, what I figured out after a lot of panic, I was panicking because it was going to be cold. This morning when I got up, it was about 9 degrees. And what I found was that with the 1500 watt, which is another, we'll say 13 amps of draw, and the Truma, which is almost 15 amps, it was overwhelming the system and it was shutting down the electric side. So I disconnected the heater and everything worked fine. So I have the heat in here set for 64 degrees. Once in a while I'll come out and I'll run the hot water. And the nice thing is with the Truma, if you are running the heater, you will get hot water out of the hot water side of the faucet. Just let it run for a little bit and you'll see. It's pretty cool. And I could probably run this circulator, which helps circulate the water that's in the pipes, in the PEX tubing. It'll circulate it back through and bring warmer water into, so you're not using the cold water. So that was quite a scare when I got the W. Nobody wants to see errors on any of this in the first week of ownership, let alone any weeks of ownership. So now she's running great. You know, as far as I know, there is no damage. It's very comfortable in here. I had it on 64. The temperatures are beginning to warm up. And I think I'm out of the woods here for now. And I may winterize it this week. But since it's doing good, I don't feel there's a necessity. We're almost out of winter. It's the end of February. March begins in about 2 days. I want to show you another thing I did in order to prevent heat loss. Is I took this vent, this max air vent, and I went ahead and I put a foil. I have this insulating foil that I used in my sauna. And I put a layer, I cut a square out to barely fit in here, and I put a layer of that, and then I put a towel over that, and then I taped it down. So hopefully that is preventing heat loss. And one of the things I did on the side is I went to Van Gear, and I did order the magnetic vent cover. So I'm waiting on that to come. So I just wanted to do a short video talking about how good this rig is for dealing with cold. I have utmost confidence. Now, if I was going days and days, I would be a bit apprehensive in low temperatures because you just never know. You can lose power. That propane will only get you so far. You know, when I topped off my tank yesterday, because I was at a quarter of a tank, when he put it in, he put in almost 3 gallons. And one of the things with this propane tank, it's a 6-gallon propane tank. A 6-gallon propane tank can only hold 80%. 80 times 6, 80% times 6 brings you down to 4.8 gallons. That's it. That's what you got on board for propane. So yesterday when it said I was reading a quarter full after, or empty, depending on how you look at it, and that was after a night of being on propane all night. So I ran it over to the local propane place and got it filled up, and he put in, I believe, 3 gallons. So I was sitting at 1.8 gallons. And so it's pretty, it was in the high quarter. It was below a half, certainly, but it was in the high quarter. So I'm slowly learning this rig, and I'm getting the better details down, i.e. like how much propane is really in that tank, how to work the Truma system. Although it's really, it works great. It's just when you get that curveball of a error code. So that's working great. And that's it, you know, everything's super. Everything's super. And I just wanted to put this short video out and talk about my time dealing with this extreme cold that we're going through right now in New England. So with that, all the best to all, and happy RVing.